So my name's Jacob Tonkin, I'm a fell runner from Keswick and I used to work here in George Fisher. In 2017 I think it was, I was one of the 4 people who created the T-rim round and got it going. T-round is around about a 30-mile route which starts and finishes at the doors of George Fisher. There's no time limit to get it done. We have to visit all the tops which are visible from the cafe window up here. The cafe didn't used to be quite as big, so you used to be able to see out this window quite easily in the cafe and the picture above it. And there was one day, one of my colleagues, Alan Porthouse, is a really tall West Cumbrian lad, came up and said, "Hey Jacob, that'd be a grand day out," and pointed up at the picture up there. No one actually knows who drew the original picture, so I don't know if there was any real, plan of what they were doing with that. But the T-rim round obviously ticks off all the tops that you can see visible on this picture above the window here. So this is the T-round. So we start in Keswick. You've got Campbell's, Robinson, High Style, Hobcart and Crag, Grisdale Pike, Eel Crag, Sail, Causey Pike, Rolling End, Barra, and back to Keswick. I do think it is open to everyone. Obviously some people will use it as a stepping stone onto bigger and better things. Other people, that will be the pinnacle of their career. If you're skilled with map and compass, or you're confident going out on the fells, then there's no reason why you shouldn't go and treat it as a long day out and go and have a good time. So you leave the doors of Fishers and you've got a flat road 5k pretty much, and you've got to be careful not to overcook it. And then really quickly you get amazing views as you're going off Campbell's, and there is a reason why that is the most walked fell in Britain. And it is sort of the epicentre of the Lake District. Everyone who comes up here goes up there for the views, the whole 360-degree view of the Lake District that you get. You then drop down off the back of Campbell's down to Littletown. We got a little bit on the road, and then you climb up the grassy banks up Robinson. And it's a nice climb. There's a few steep bankings which you've got to get up. But again, from the top of Robinson, the view is amazing. You're seeing all the way over to Buttermere and Crummock. Then you've got an awful descent down, and there isn't really any other way of getting down. You've just got to turn your brain off and just go for it and hope for the best quite a lot of the time. And then you drop down to the side of Buttermere, and you go around the back of Buttermere, and then you've got a soul-destroying climb from the side of Buttermere up to the top of High Style, which every time I've done it I've cursed the person who drew it onto this picture here. I'm thinking, what was that person thinking? And then it's almost as bad as when you have to turn around and come straight back down again, because it is just big rocks, there's no grip on anything. You're always wishing you put different shoes on when you go and do it. Then you hit the steps at the bottom, and that's no better as well. And so after you've come off High Style back into Buttermere again, you've got Whiteless Pike in front of you, and you're just thinking, oh no, more climbing. And you're going up the grassy bank, and it's not even that steep, but once you've got that 6,000 foot percent in your legs, you're already starting to feel it. And then it's just a slog from Whiteless Pike over to the top of Grisdale Pike. But once you get to the top of Grisdale Pike, you kind of got your first view of the finish line, so you're thinking, oh, I'm going to make this. And then you've got a nice scrambly climb up onto Eel Crag. So from the top of Eel Crag you come down the ridgeline, which is like a roller coaster, and you've got pretty steep drop either side, but you've got amazing views, and it's just really exciting. It's really good running. You can just motor down that, and you don't want to hold back. You want to keep pushing to really make the most out of the ridgeline. And then once you get to Causey Pike, after all that exciting downhill, you're rewarded with an amazing view of the whole Lake District. From there you can more or less see the whole route, so you get a real good sense of achievement of what you've actually finished. You come down the front of Causey, which again is quite rocky, the top's quite scrambly, and then for some stupid reason you've got to do an out and back on Rolling End, which again I think is just cruel. And then you've got the final climb up onto Barrow, which isn't much of a climb. You're talking about 500 foot or so, but by the end of it you are just knackered. But then once you get to the top you can see the finish line, you can see St John's Church, and which is pretty much at Fishers, and you think, right, all I've got to do is get myself down and then come back to here. And then you're rewarded with probably one of the best descents in the whole of the Lake District coming down Barrow, which even if you're just going at a steady pace you end up going quite quick. And then once you get down to Braithwaite, you kind of make your own way back to Keswick. Some people go alongside the 66, other people come through the fields at Port and Scale. And then you've got a final mad rush uptown trying to avoid all the tourists to collapse at the front doors, and then you're done. When I first set off to do it I didn't get round, and I got halfway up Whiteless Pike and ended up almost collapsing with sunstroke because it was so hot. And I came back and I was sort of licking my wounds a little bit, and I was thinking, oh, I'm going to have another go. And I had a couple of big fell races lined up that I was going to do first, then I was going to go do it. And one day in the shop, a bloke stumbled in through the door and he said, "Is Jacob Tonkin in?" And he goes, "Oh, I've just done your tearing round." I was like, no, and he'd beaten me to it. And his name was Andrew Martindale from the Northern Fells, and he was the first person to get around the whole thing. And I think Andrew did it in about 10 hours or so. And then more and more people slowly started to hear about it, and it was becoming a bigger and bigger and bigger thing. And now it's such a big thing that if you're out walking around Buttermere, the chances are on a weekend that you'll see a person or group of people who are doing the tearing round. And you know, it has in some ways become a classic round in the Lake District again. And it is really nice that, you know, this tear round starts so close to where the Bob Graham, the Frog Graham, all the big extended rounds, where they all start and finish. So it's nice that, you know, again, Keswick's got another reason to bring fell runners, trail runners, walkers to Keswick to go and have another go at another challenge. So traditionally you used to get a cup of tea and a slice of cake from the cafe once you finished, and then it progressed that you got a golden teacup and then you got a badge. But in 2021 George Fisher's is partnering up with Montane, and there's going to be an array of prizes from badges to Montane t-shirts. There's going to be a leaderboard downstairs which should be regularly updated, and there's going to be competition throughout the year.
I'm Steve, I'm the Chief Fundraiser at the Lake District Foundation for Fix the Fells. Fix the Fells being the project to protect all of the upland paths in the Lake District from erosion. That's basically it. If it gets badly eroded, we're in there and we fix those paths and then maintain them afterwards. 2020 has been a massive challenge for us in all ways really. From the fundraising, we've had a massive gap because a lot of our donors are hospitality or the outdoor trade, such as George Fisher, and we've all been hit so hard that you know, we've just got to get through this year and hopefully have a fantastic 2021. So we're really excited to be involved with the George Fisher Tea Round. So if they're running a tea round, go to the George Fisher website, follow the links to our site, make a donation there for Fix the Fells. It'd be fantastic. You can also text donate, and then the greatest thing is at the end of 2021 Montane are going to match fund it, so we all win all of those donations, keep our volunteers and our rangers out on there fixing the paths and maintaining them all the time. Fantastic, thank you.